Hi everybody. This video will help you to complete your enrollment checklist. At this point, we definitely would ask you to refer to the other videos about setting up and logging into your BARD account. There's also very helpful information there on what to do should you need to reset your password or if you have trouble gaining access to your account. That BARD account, which is separate from your applicant portal, will need to be set up in order to complete some of the aspects of the enrollment checklist. So as you can see on my screen here, I am in a sample enrollment checklist. So when you sign in first to your portal, you should see this page, and you'll see various letters and communications that we've sent to you. But here on your menu here, you'll want to click on Enrollment. And when you click on Enrollment, you can scroll down and your enrollment checklist should be populated. And you'll see a series of things that you will need to do. Now, I will say that some of these things that you will need to do in order to enroll in the college once you've accepted your offer of admission are forthcoming. So not everything is a link here that you'll be able to fill out right away. So I would suggest that you continue to look back at your enrollment checklist to make sure that that's complete, and also keep track of the dates and deadlines for all of these checklist items. So the first and most important thing to do will be to activate your BARD account and log into your BARD Gmail, which will be the way that we will continue to communicate with you and how the college will communicate with you once you have matriculated to the college. So if we click on that link, you'll be brought here. As I said before, that this step was covered in a previous video. You'll also need to next do upload a photo ID. So if we click on this, so your photo ID picture can all be done and sent to us online. So you will need to log in with your BARD account in order to complete this step. I would certainly say to pay close attention to the instructions of the type of photo that you will need in order to proved on our side to be usable for your BARD ID. But your BARD ID is a very important tool during your college experience because it is your ID. It also helps with meal swipes and it's how you will pay for your meals and those sorts of things. So it's definitely a very important thing to have. The next thing will be submitting the enrolling student information form. So if we click on that, we will see here that this is a form that you can just fill out with all of your information here. I'll go scroll a little bit slower. So it asks for things like first name and such, and emails and phone numbers and addresses and those types of things. And this you can submit right away. You won't have to log into anything separately on this form. If we go back to the enrollment checklist, you'll see that the housing profile form will be coming soon. Perhaps at the moment that you're watching this video, it will be complete. You'll be able to submit that form right away as well. And just a word of advice for the housing form. It's very important to fill out that form as detailed as possible so our residence life office can really fit you with the residence hall and roommate that are going to be the best match for you. So certainly being as honest and as forthcoming and as detailed as possible with that profile is going to be really helpful. So next is some health and counseling required reading. All right, this is something that you will just need to read through. You can see through a few pages here that essentially is what students will need to do. Important information to know about medical clearance requirements, amongst other helpful information related to health and counseling at the college. Completed medical requirements in the BARD Health Service Portal. Let's take a look at that here. And all right, there are currently no records for this particular test student, but certainly that is something that will need to be filled out for students as well, completing the medical requirements. Next, the link will be coming to review the BARD health insurance plan and opt-out waiver details. This will be really important that if you have existing health coverage that is applicable to the Mid-Hudson Valley, Dutchess County area, as long as it will be good coverage for this particular area, you will be able to keep your own coverage so you can opt out of the BARD health insurance plan. Should that not be the case, students will be required to enroll in the BARD health insurance plan. So very important information to read through and make sure you complete if applicable to you. These forms will generally be printed out and sent directly by mail and to our health services office, and their address can be found right on the front page of the form. Our next is an optional link about submitting Bard College health insurance opt-out waiver, which I just mentioned. Again, that's optional because that won't apply to everyone. So the next thing, which is also a link that is forthcoming, will be to complete the sexual assault prevention and the diversity, equity, and inclusion summer training courses. These are some online courses that students will need to complete before arriving at the college in August. Now, something I'd like to point out is that you can see here the green checks mean that we have received that particular checklist requirement, and if it still has an X, that means we're awaiting. Certainly if something's optional, that's not something that needs to be filled out. Just a word of warning as well that sometimes these things are not automatic. Sometimes they need to be reviewed. So if you've sent something to us and you don't see a green check, that isn't necessarily something to worry about, although if a few days have passed by and you still see it is not checked off as received, you can certainly reach out to admission@bard.edu and we can be of help there to let you know that we have received it or not. Okay, and then we have the math placement diagnostic. If you have not already passed it or taken it, I believe this test student is a model of our Bard High School early college students, so they may have already taken the placement diagnostic test for math, but that is a requirement for all students coming into the college, regardless of if you have fulfilled your math requirement or not. So specifically for Bard High School early college students, if you've already taken the math placement diagnostic, you will not need to do so. However, for all other students, you will need to take that particular diagnostic test. And then next, we have language and thinking program texts that are really helpful to read prior to arriving on campus for L&T in August. Our next option here is a disability registration form. Should that be applicable to you, that will certainly be important, and any disability services that students may need while on campus. If you're a student athlete, we have our athletics and recreation profile, which will be really important for you to fill out. And then certainly BARD is committed to sustainability efforts, and signing the BARD College Sustainability Pledge online is also important. At the bottom here, we see a checklist for completed readings that we have mentioned up above. We certainly hope that this has been helpful in completing your enrollment checklist. Certainly something that's very important to get everything in order for you to arrive on campus, which we are very excited about. I hope you found this video helpful. If there's anything at all that we can be helpful with, please feel free to reach out to admission@bard.edu. I'd also like to mention that it is very important that if you've applied for financial aid, that students reply to their offer of financial aid, and we can certainly do another video on that process as well. Again, if you have any trouble logging in to your BARD account, which will need to be set up, as again you see is the first of your list in the enrollment checklist to complete, that's going to be really important in filling out some of these aspects of the enrollment checklist. And again, welcome to new BARD students. It's really exciting, and we hope you found this helpful. Take care.